It was a lengthy meeting for members of the St. Lucia Civil Service Association, the CSA, who participated in discussions on government's wage adjustment proposal to public sector unions. As government tries to deal with a $76 million deficit, it has proposed, among other things, a 5% wage cut for public workers, with the exemption of workers at grades 1 to 3, the judiciary and the Governor General. Nearly 400 CSA members signed the register at Monday's marathon session. In the end, the workers rejected that proposal. President Mary Isaac was not surprised, she says, with the Prime Minister having already included the cut in the budget. It is now a question of when it will be enforced. The CSA president says information is that instructions have already been given for the 5% cut to take effect in July.
When that is done, then the members, I'm sure, we will come back and we will decide what needs to be done, because as far as I know, the members will not allow anyone to interfere with their salary without consultation, without them agreeing to it, without them having been given sufficient time to reorganize their finances. So the members will get back together and decide what happens from there.
Was there formal notification that the salaries would be reduced in July? Anything formal from the government stating this?
So far there's nothing, and the government is still talking about consensus for the proposals that they have tabled, which is a very extensive list of different conditions and different situations. But officially we have not received any word that the government will be taking a 5% wage cut in July or any other month for that matter.
So no to the 5% cut. What about the condition of the wage freeze for 3 years?
Well, that we did not take a decision on that either, because we have an entire document and the members disagreed to adopt the entire document. So everything got thrown out the window.
You did not discuss the entire document, so they only agreed to one part of the document.
No, we discussed the entire document, but they already agreed not to take the 5%, but the 5% forms part of that document.
So you're saying that by just rejecting the 5%, then they have rejected the entire document?
Yes, I would think so.
Without a vote on individual parts?
No, we didn't take a vote on individual part. The document has to be looked at in its entirety. So, and another thing too is we are not negotiating. We have asked for the government to activate the negotiating team, and when they do so, the negotiations, and when they do so, then they can table all these issues that they had in that proposal.
But I'm sorry, but to be fair, Ms. Isaac, if the government has sent the proposals for consideration, not just one aspect, but all for consideration, why not consider all of it and then take one vote?
Mm-hmm. In the first instance, I believe the members were just going with the flow in terms of the other unions having to come in together and taking a decision on the 5%. From inception, I have maintained that if we are negotiating, we have to do it within the negotiations framework.
As far as Mary Isaac is concerned, the actions of the Prime Minister do not speak well for the industrial relations climate. Having him prescribed to the unions is a facade for consultation, she says. The Prime Minister has indicated that he will activate the government negotiating team with the condition that negotiations be completed within a 2-week time frame. This does not sit well with the CSA president.
How can all of a sudden somebody is asking for this thing, the negotiations to take a 2-week period? Suppose there are issues that need to be, discussed past the 2 weeks. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, I cannot say whether it's going to take 2 weeks or a month or a year. Usually, government negotiations drag and drag and drag. The Prime Minister may be saying that now, in 1 week's time, something happened. He takes off on a flight somewhere. The negotiating team, suppose it's like last year where the lawyer has to go here and there. You never know. So I do not know that the Prime Minister can prescribe a time frame for negotiations. He can hope that it happens within that time, but to prescribe a time and try to stick to that time, it may well be him that cannot stick to the 2 weeks.
Ms. Isaac did, however, commit to participating in the talks once commenced. I asked her if she believes that St. Lucia is facing a dire economic situation as laid out by the government.
I think there is a lot of poor management in government, and I believe that is where the issue has to be addressed. Whether we we try to bring it down to the level of needing more money, increasing, having a deficit. None of that is as important as looking at our economy and looking at it from a holistic standpoint, to do what is right and not just what we want to do. You understand? Because there are issues, and there are always going to be issues if we have people in government that do not want to listen to what other people have to say.
So are you saying that the government is trying to use the workers as a scapegoat to solve the problems that they created, or it created?
I believe so. I believe they are trying to use the trade unions so that they can say they consulted with the trade unions and the trade unions said A, B, C, or D, because they do not want it. And they're trying to force the trade unions to say what they want the trade unions to say, or they want the trade unions to agree to, not necessarily what the trade unions see is the solution. You understand? So things like that do not work. We have to me, they are not being genuine about the entire problem that we have on our hands. Because the problem did not just start today or now, or just in this budget period. It started way back. And for you to be in a haste right now, in a hurry, to arrive at a conclusion, just so that you can take care of your deficit in this budget, I mean, this is not how things are supposed to be done if we really and truly are thinking of doing things for this country.